Match of the tournament, according to most pundits. It was the one that I think we were most excited about, looking forward to. Two of the favorites, two of the three best teams in the world, according to rankings. England versus France. Deion, England play not to lose on Saturday?
No, I don't think that. I just think they have too many of the same player, and you never know which one's actually going to show up on that day, and you just have to hope you're hitting the right. You just have to hope you're going to hit the right button.
I can tell.
Give us some examples.
I can tell by the amount of melanin on the field for England, they weren't trying to win.
Foden, Saka, Rashford are all the same player to me.
Jack Grealish and Raheem are the same player.
Yeah, you can throw them in there too. They're all the same player to me. The only two players, in my opinion, that are different are Harry Kane and Jude. All the defenders are the exact same. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Southgate took a ton of shit for the Henderson play. That was actually a pretty good move. I thought
absolutely stabilized the midfield, and honestly, here's what Charles, go ahead. Why don't you jump in and what you saw? I know you and I dive into tactics a lot.
No, I mean, I think I wrote it in the group chat that I felt like they weren't really playing to win. I like the fact that Calvin Phillips didn't get off the bench for the whole. I just don't feel like I like Calvin. I like everything black. I'm Issa Rae with the England team. More color. When I see all those dudes out there, I'm like, you're not trying, because as much as I love Declan Rice, Declan don't be pushing forward. As much as I love, they're not really they're not. That's not what they're for. They're there to batten down the hatches. And I feel like they were so busy not trying to get caught on the counter. They were so busy trying to contain Mbappe that it just throws off. If your number one goal is to stop Mbappe and not score goals, if your number one goal is to stop Mbappe, then your number one goal isn't to go win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what they were playing for, is to make sure we're trying to prevent an explosion.
I feel like when it was tied, that's a fair assessment. But when they were down, bro, they were taking it to France a little bit there.
Oh yeah, the whole second.
They were down. Yeah. I mean, they had. I mean, I'm not here to say they didn't have their moments, but I just felt like I just was never really once they went down that I was never worried that France was going to lose that game. I just never felt.
Hold on.
Never.
Well, I thought Saka and Foden's first half is about as bad as it gets from two players. I thought Declan Rice just stunk the whole game, to be honest. I mean,
oh really?
Kyle Walker put on a show.
A lot of folks are saying, it's interesting that you bring that up, Foden. But as soon as the beginning of the second half got going, I think, Harry, kept the momentum of the team, going to make sure that, if it stays at 1-0, But Bukayo took it. They took it over in the second half, in the beginning of the second half, and he got the pin for them, which mattered, because then it was 1-1 real life.
Horrible foul by your boy. That one.
Yes,
it was a clear penalty. It was a horrible foul. Stupid ass, inexperienced foul.
So the second one was worse.
Both of them worse. Hernandez brothers, are they tripping? This ain't a Lifetime movie. What was going on? I didn't know what was happening.
To be honest, bro, I get Saka got them the pen, but when you're invisible for 45 minutes, and then he
was playing as a wing back. The way his positioning was, not the way they had it set. But every time I saw him, he's 10 yards behind the outside the box. I'm like, dude, you're not even pushing forward at all.
I believe that was the tactics that were put in front of him. Now, our boy, we have a lot of respect about our boy Jules. He has him in the best World Cup team and the best 11 right now, and as a right wing. But I think Southgate didn't. I think he was just so concerned, let's just keep this tight, and then we'll have a breakthrough, hopefully on some counter shit. But the problem is that France was comfortable still going forward because AG7 was on some different shit. He was phenomenal, and yet he's on the other side for sure. But that was the difference between where I think Bukayo didn't have that type of grit that Griezmann had, where he was going everywhere, box to box, etc. You knew where Griezmann was. You could how you if and American football people say, yo, can you feel that player on the field? Every time like France was in some shit or anything good, AG7 was doing his thing. He's been the best player for them all tournament. I'm
man's
keeping
work.
it.
He's always their best player. He's been their best player for like the last 6 years. His work rate is what makes him his work rate is what makes everything work. He's the engine. He is, especially with Conte being out, he's definitely picked it up. But like I think even in what we're both saying, we're saying the same thing.
Yes,
they were doubling Dembele every time he got the ball down there.
Correct.
Foden was tracking back, and every time Dembele was Mbappe was getting it. That's why. So the wings were sitting so far back trying to help in defense that I don't feel like they were ever able to push forward really in the way that they should have. And there were a couple of times where Harry got the ball and there were no runners. There was nobody to link up with in front of him because the right wings had turned into the wings that turned into wing backs.
I don't think like day in and day out. I don't think Saka and Foden, Rashford is included in this. Like all these dudes are the same. Like I don't think day in and day out they can create the way England needs them to create, and they're all the same. And you have Saka's game against Iran where he's phenomenal at that, right? And then, in my opinion, you've had 4 straight games where it's like, he's kind of just out there. Foden, Foden's had a good game, and then he's kind of just out there.
Yeah.
Rashford has a good stint, then he's kind of just out there. Like Harry Kane, it isn't gonna he's slow. Like he's not gonna create his own look based off speed. So you need the electric guys on the other side of him, and he can create for them. Like Harry Kane, I thought did a phenomenal job of controlling the ball and getting them involved, but like they need to be able to go one-on-one with some folks because Harry and Cade bring everyone in the middle, and then on the outside you were able to go one-on-one, and that's how Saka got the eventual pen. But like if he was able to do that the whole game, I think this is a much different result.
Yeah, and even though he won the other penalty as a collective, Mason Mount be out there getting cardio. He don't really be doing shit either.
He's not. He cannot be on the English team next go around. They got better midfielders coming up for sure.
He's gone down, and I'm not saying he's gone down, but he's kind of been at that same level for like the last couple of years.
Well, for real though, the best.
I don't think Saka should play winger on the next English team either. He should take Kyle Walker's role, in my opinion.
Well,
like if you're bringing Saka and Foden back on the wings, like Harry ain't gonna be like that in 26. And it's not even like Harry was like that good this World Cup.
You hope at that time that Rashford has made the jump, and maybe Harry's on the bench in 4 years. I hate to say that,
but
respectfully,
if Rashford is your striker and Harry's not on the field, I'm sorry, but you're cooked.
I'm not. I would say if Rashford's still playing for United. And that's in 26, they're cooked because that means he's still playing the same exact way. If he gets to go to another club and can get another footballing idea, maybe. But I don't like the way he doesn't play. To play as a striker, he doesn't play direct enough for me.
I was gonna say he doesn't do enough linking everybody else for me. Yeah. Like I don't think he's a very simple. Like he'll be probably a better finisher than Harry Kane was. In that sense, and if you play him a through ball, obviously he'll get on the ball quicker than Harry Kane. But the way Harry Kane links the midfield to the wingers, like I don't really think he could do that. It's kind of like the Mbappe Griezmann argument in a way with less talent.
Is this Francis to lose?
Sadly enough, yeah.
They're gonna win.
Yeah, probably.
Good segue for us to talk about the France-Morocco match. Morocco has defeated 2 of their colonizers previously. As we continue along here, as we know, in terms of Spain and Portugal, and now they're third in front of them in France. I think
Morocco been colonized.
What's that?
How many times has Morocco been colonized?
Just shared colonialism going around in the region. Shared colonialism. I mean, here's the deal. Back to the football question. Best player on the pitch. I think we have our thoughts. Best football player on the pitch. Yeah, in this game. Don't you think, Charles? I agree.
You said Hakimi?
Yeah.
Yeah, him or White Antoine.
Hold on. So I have a problem because, and I think all the Butler people got like offended on this. I said, when I see DiVincenzo, the first time I seen it was December 2017. I'm like, oh, there go White Dante.
Like Dante. Exactly.
Every time I still watch the Warriors, because I kind of mess with White Dante.
Yeah.
You know
White
what I'm
Dante.
saying? He's fine. He knows his role.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's White Antoine.
Yeah. Hey, White Antoine.
For sure. Same energy. Anyways. So
and you know he at the barbecue. Griezmann's at the barbecue, fam.
it's like that. Okay.
No doubt.
It's like that. Well, I mean, his dance skills are there though. Respectfully, yeah, you got that. He can move a little bit. Hakimi's see, that's what I like is, and that's such a crucial position. Let's make sure that we understand. Morocco was only let in one goal all tournament, and let's remember what it was. It was the own goal. The own goal. That back line, there is nothing Swiss cheese about that back line. And they know exactly. And once again, talk about chemistry. Those guys have been playing together, and they know what they're doing. I'm not saying that somebody has it. And Hakimi, what does he do? Knows everything that Mbappe is going to do. Knows his tricks of the trade is on the pitch with them. Really has been like knows that like where his weaknesses are truly. And those can be exploited, especially in terms of age. And Hakimi, once again, from a leadership perspective. I'm not saying that of course France has that special something. I mean, that's why, I mean, Giroud, for example, like just go out and make a play, like great diagonal. Speaking of which, we didn't even talk about Jude's amazing pass. We gotta make sure that ball to Mount as they were was phenomenal. Anyways, Giroud, I mean, he's the best scorer. We have to say it. He is the best goal scorer in France and French history currently right now. And Morocco doesn't have that. However, they got a boy who can jump, though. That man on Saturday was doing his thing. That was incredible. His athleticism they showed. I don't think they're going to be scared of the moment. And once again, a whole continent's behind them. How can they stay in the match, if you will? Can they take it to pins?
No. They can muddy it up, though, but I just think I think I'm in more cases than not, I think talent wins out in a lot of these things. And I don't think that, especially when I watch France, I'm just like, how do you stop them from scoring for 90 minutes? Like, not even if they're not playing well, they're just how would you stop them from scoring? Like, it's like some of these club teams. Like, it's remarkable to me when teams hold like City, like without a goal for 90 minutes. Like, how do you stop this team from scoring for 90 minutes? I just don't see how. They have enough players. They got enough people. They got enough speed. Like I said, they're running out. You know, we talk about Hakimi speed, but you know, Hakimi, Dembele, and Mbappe might be the three fastest players out in the whole tournament. And the width that they get, I think the width that France provides is what gives Griezmann that room to really work. Like the field is so they make the field as big as humanly possible. And I just think this has been a great story for Morocco, but I just feel like they're like I keep telling people like France has nukes. They can go nuclear whenever they feel like it. Like I feel like even against England, like I feel like they can score whenever they want to. Whenever they really feel like really want to put their mind to it, they can go get a goal.
Deion, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I don't think Morocco can keep up with France. I'm sure Hakimi takes Mbappe out the game the same way I thought Kyle Walker did, but that's the problem, right? Like when you talk about France, it's like how do you take Mbappe out the game? You really need to take Griezmann out the game. And you can't do that with Dembele and Mbappe on the two sides. And that's kind of what I was saying about fucking Harry Kane in England, too, a minute ago. Like, if you put Harry Kane in the Griezmann role, it gets nasty for some people because of what he can do to get those two sprung. And England lacks that. France doesn't lack that. I think France is going to score one, and Morocco's going to be like, fuck, we have to try to score now. And I think they score 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe.
Yeah, so Morocco hasn't been in that situation yet, right, against somebody of that nature in terms of the talent. If they do score the first goal, and once again, it could be set piece, whatever that can look like, France will be in a rock fight at that point. Because Morocco is, once again, used to being in those type of games currently right now. As we also know, the energy in the stadium will take over a little bit. I think that's their only. As I asked, what is the way for them to win? They have to score the first goal. If they don't, they're not a comeback score.
You got flop. I think that France defense is like uber aggressive. I
Yeah.
think you got to get in the box and you got to become a penguin. Get a PK, get one on the board, drop everybody back.
I mean, and they got a chance to dominate the midfield. If they have a chance, it's going to be there. I think them getting control of the midfield, Rabiot, Chouameni, and those guys. He scored a goal the other day, but I'm not trusting on their consistency across the board to be able to hold up like those guys from Morocco have been dogs in the midfield in these matches, and they've taken it to no offense to better midfields. So like if they can, France has got to hold up in the midfield first and foremost. But if they can do that, and which Griezmann does obviously a great job of helping aid in that. He's the X factor in that. But if he's the best player, if White Antoine's the best player on the field, I think it's France walks through them.
Got to check.
And he hasn't even been trying to score. He be scoring for France too. So he ain't even really tried to do his thing yet.
I feel like their midfield got dogged by England too. And like no offense to like anybody on England, but I mean, we've all watched every England game. They got two players really, in Harry Kane and Jude, and then a bunch of dudes around them. And some of those dudes might show up, they might not. I really think they like Jordan Henderson and Jude kind of controlled that game with Harry, like three players. And France was able to strike whenever they really wanted to, but like I don't know. I've
been waiting for Rabiot to be good for 5 years now.
That's real. That's real.
I just think if England's able to control the midfield the way they did, I don't understand how Morocco doesn't see some success at doing that. The problem is, I just think like England had a threat to score in ways that I don't think Morocco does, and you kind of saw in that second half, France realized these dudes ain't outrunning us anymore. Like they're tired, right? Like we don't have to worry about the threat of a counter. And boy, did they throw everybody in that box against England, and they were able to find the second goal. So I think that's going to be times 10 against Morocco a little bit.
Yeah. Last time we did talk about a team having nukes comparatively was Brazil versus Croatia. And about the 40th minute mark, Charles, you texted us in the group chat. You go, these boys in a rock fight today. And it took a special brilliance. And we did have that. Neymar Jr. was he's special, obviously, making plays. And then they just came right back. I don't know if Morocco has that, right? That's the only thing. So once again, that first goal was crucial. But I think France, we believe, will be in the final. Let me just say I am more surprised that Brazil lost to Croatia than I will be if Morocco loses to France.
Wait, what?
You mean if France loses to Morocco?
France loses to Morocco. Excuse me. My apologies.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Yeah, I was very much more surprised about Croatia getting it done against Brazil.
When I was watching that Brazil game, and I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about that later. I apologize if we are.
No, we're not. This is a good time.
I just saw a team that like it wasn't wasn't as good as we thought, but just hadn't really been challenged. And it's kind of like what Charles said. He said they're going to get punched in the mouth and realize, they have to play soccer now. And like, can they turn it on? And they weren't able to turn it on.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is, and that's why I've been looking at it, France is the most talented team. And then the two best teams in the world are teams. Argentina and Croatia are the two best teams, not collection of talent. They're the two best teams. And if you really think about it over the course of the last 4 years, Croatia's been the second best team in the world. They made it to the final, and they're in the semifinals now. Argentina's won a title, and they're in the in the semifinals now. These are the three of the four best teams in the world over the last 4 years. Are here now, and I just but I think it's really we got to start putting some respect on Croatia's name. They've literally for the last 4 years they've made it to a final and a semifinal. They're the second best team in the world.
Now, if any other team, take England, played with the tactics Croatia or Morocco does, we're running that manager out the dry.
Yeah, but Croatia wouldn't play that way if they had those players.
No, yeah, no, I completely
They
agree.
wouldn't have to.
I completely agree. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I completely agree, though, and I guess like what I'm saying is like I don't know if England has the players we think they have.
But like this goes back to our early conversation. Like we're over here talking about Morocco and how scrappy they are, how scrappy Croatia is, and then we started the show we were talking earlier about somebody not playing hard. Like you know what I mean? It's just like you see fucking Perisic and these guys up here running for their lives, like doing everything, like literally willing to damn near down the field. So like that's why in previous conversations I'm so adamant about like that not playing hard shit just doesn't work, because I see the dudes who are successful at this shit, just the most famous players in the world, Messi, all like the most famous players in the world, dude, just out here going balls to the wall for this shit.
Also, we out. When I said like I don't think Saka should be like starting at wing for England in 26th with the way he is right now, I'd also kill for Saka to start on the wing for the U.S. team. So,
sure, for sure. Well, I mean, yeah.
And he's the same age as this quote unquote golden generation, and he would smoke every last one of them besides maybe Weston in terms of like talent. So, it's just different conversations for every team, I guess.
Levels.
Yeah, there are levels.
Backward is level.
It's levels. Like Saka really, I really don't think Saka or Foden or Rashford or Grealish did anything in this World Cup. The four of them would probably be the four best players on the U.S. team.
Probably. There's no probably to it.
Foden, we would kill for a guy like Foden.
Marcus Rashford would be the best player in the history of the U.S. team.
I think Weston's name would get thrown in that mix somewhere. But they'd be four of the best five without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Weston's better than Grealish.
I think
just different.
First off, I'm not giving Jack Grealish.
We know what you think about Jack Grealish. JG 100,
the fourth highest, most expensive player of all time.
Yeah,
fifth. He's
that was
there.
wild.
And
that was wild.
Awful. 660 M's for Pulisic.
Croatia. What are you most impressed about with them, Charles? Another run, semifinals.
The Ballon d'Or winner, just out there. Him, those, like I said, all they need is Mario Mandzukic, and they would have all the gang together of like these guys that have been out here just running and playing and fighting for as long as I've been watching soccer. Those dudes in this fucking my bad, they left Rakitic at home too. But I mean, like they just keep coming, and I'm always impressed. Like we laugh, like me and Deion, he talks so much shit about my boy Perisic, but the man be out there working. That man is a workhorse. Like them boys play hard, they play together. They know, like, and the thing I like about them, I like about pretty much all these 14. They know exactly who they are. Like Croatia ain't out here trying to play nobody else's style of football. They ain't out here like we win, lose, or draw, bro. We playing Croatian football.
Yeah, I stand by what I said about bro when he plays at Tottenham, but like he's a much different player for Croatia. He is a much different player for Croatia.
That checkerboard means something different.
I just think, I mean, we're going to get back into clubs next week, but I just think Conte needed this month and a half long break to really like sit down and put people in the right position. Him trying to do it on the fly with all the injuries wasn't working. So I think he's going to gain the most from this.
I think with a lot of these players too on the national team, it's like, dude, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to. Like, I ain't got no choice.
He also goes from like, I don't want to say he's another guy on Tottenham, but like, if there's one thing you learned from this World Cup, it's Tottenham's like loaded with talent, bro. Like maybe they don't play like it until they're down 1-0, but like we had a lot of dudes that were the best player on their national team. And I just think
out there balling.
He's like a little bit like he like gets lost in the shuffle a little bit more than he does for Croatia. Yeah.
They're actually looking for him though, and Croatia like looks for him and try to like. But he's damn near like I've watched every Croatian game this tournament, and like most of the things are happening down that left flank with him.
If we got that, if we get that dude in 2 months, I mean,
I mean, we do have to acknowledge. I mean, even though Dyer didn't even, what I'm saying, in terms of getting the tick, but I mean, because of Stones, but it's not. We're not. I mean, we're within 4 years of Tottenham. They handled City in the semifinal in the Champions League. Handled them. And it was like almost on some like crazy stuff that where City was able to come back. But this is what I'm saying. Like they've been in the final only once out of that, in that situation. Tottenham was in the Champions League final, and if they're not playing an English team in Liverpool, they probably are raising the trophy at this point. They always have had the talent.
That's not true.
What you mean?
They'd have played a Spanish team. They'd have lost like the last.
But the Spanish team wasn't there.
Hold on, I'm just saying. You said had they not been playing an English team, they would have lifted the trophy. Had they played a Spanish team, they would have died like every other English team when they played a Spanish team.
But neither one of our teams were represented. You understand what I'm saying? Like they were out. But I'm talking about knowing where we were in the stage.
They would have beat Inter Milan had they played. Yeah, I know.
Or Ajax. That was possible. Tottenham Ajax who's winning.
They beat Ajax to
Thank
get to
you.
the final. Yeah,
Thank you.
I know that was Frankie De Jong's last game for Ajax. I'm well aware.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Had it been switched up, and Liverpool had a nice draw. That was another
free
thing.
Donny van der Beek, man. Netherlands should have brought my man. But I see that's Ten Hag's fault because he's one of the best fucking Dutch players, and he didn't even make the team because the managers have been fucking with him for 2 years.
Last question: does Croatia have enough, or are we looking at Messi?
I love this matchup for Croatia.
I
love it. Terrible matchup for Argentina.
Bro,
yeah, it is.
It's a terrible matchup for this.
Dog shit. I think where Croatia struggles is like creating chances outside of Perisic, and that backline's dog shit. So they're gonna have a ton of chances. I think their defense is phenomenal. Their midfield's phenomenal. How do you say the dude with the mask name? I don't want to butcher it. Gavargial?
I'm not doing that with you.
No, we get it.
You about to have me out here like ML.
I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna trouble. Chill.
Buddy with the mask. I need Perisic in his ear every day in between games. North London's nice, I promise. I need him.
I love
still
it.
Like Argentina to get through, but
you do.
It's gonna be
you too, Deion?
No, I like Croatia. I think we're gonna see Croatia France again.
Wow.
Then there's no doubt that they're the two best teams in the world. Like it cannot be questioned they're the two best teams in the world at that point.
If you put Argentina against France, I like their chances more than I do against Croatia.
Yeah, me too.
Meaning,
Styles make fights.
If Argentina
yeah, I'm there too.
I think if Argentina wins this game, they're gonna win. They're gonna win the whole thing.
Bro, I think Croatia gets it done in 90. Like I don't think we're even going to extra time.
2-1. Messi get a goal, or has a creation.
Messi do whatever he want to do.
Yeah, Messi's been phenomenal. Like that Inter Miami shit. Like
pack up that Ballon d'Or. If they win this tournament, pack up the Ballon d'Or.
Go to Miami in 2024. You don't need to go in 23, bro.
Like go one more year.
Come to Barca first, because if they beat France in the title, I don't think it's going to be very pleasant for him in Paris the rest of the year. So,
yeah, that's a very underlying.
I think it's going to be real odd, real sticky for him in France if he goes back after they beat France.
Does Mbappe cut his own hair?
That might be what the beef with Pogba started. Is he tried to get Pogba barber
and says, "Let me get a bald fade, no blend, just bald."
That's the equivalent of what's the name? And then Marty Smith when he said to Paul, "Hey, what do you do? What do you do? Get the number 2, keep the sides."
His haircut, like if he wasn't, how old is he? 20, 21? No, 23 now, right?
23, yeah.
Mbappe?
If he wasn't a 23-year-old, he'd be one of the ugliest dudes in the world.
Yeah. What is this? What is it called? A Durig? A Durig?
Man,
do-rag, my boy.
They say like black don't crack. He is going to crack unless he starts learning how to get a haircut and a few other things, bro. That's one of the ugliest dudes.
Wait till when he get to Madrid in a couple years. Flo gonna get him that Cristiano starter pack.
I don't want him now, dog.
Listen, man, you can't convince me that no one in Spain can give a fade. I refuse to believe that. I watched Memphis to pay.
Hey, Memphis got a little high and tight. Ansu shit be looking a little iffy, but
Memphis goes to the barber and says, "Let me get as close to what they do in the States." That's all he says. Just close.
How much time do you think Memphis spends in Amsterdam a year?
None.
Long.
If you gave Memphis a map, you think he can find it? Bro, he met the team in Qatar. He said, "I ain't even showing up out there, bro. Like I'll see y'all out
I'm cool.
there."
I love it.
Gakpo don't spend no time in Amsterdam either, bro. None of them do.
No, Akpo he already got a suitcase packed for sure.
You never
No doubt.
bro. I'm telling you, I can say this about a lot of countries, but I think Netherlands is at the top. There is no team with more players that have no idea the country they're representing than Netherlands.
Yeah,
that's probably about right.
I was watching that U.S. Netherlands game, and I'm like, bro, if you told me half these dudes were American, I'd believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you told me half the Americans were from
We're
Amsterdam,
Dutch.
I'd believe that too.
That's really real.
You could have swapped Pulisic in Memphis, I wouldn't have even known. Wouldn't have blinked an eye.
I mean, you could have swapped Jorginho, and technically he would have fit. So,
well,
no, I know it was bad because I was laughing because when Memphis scored against the U.S., he was posting all these messages on Instagram, and like motherfuckers was like Steve Harvey, Snoop. Like, nigga, you know way too many Americans, fam. Hey, when I catch Memphis at my wing spot in Atlanta, bro, it's gonna be a problem.
I ain't gonna speaking of that wing spot because I know exactly what you're talking about. It popped up on DoorDash the other day. I got 150 of them things coming to me in a week. I can't wait.
Say less.
I cannot wait.
all right.
Lemon pepper. Real quick.
Yeah.
Berhalter praising Memphis will never not sting. That's one of the. If you're a U.S. soccer fan, that has to be one of the most humbling quotes of all time. The fact
What was the quote?
He basically said like we have nothing like Memphis Depay on our roster. For lack
He
of
did
better
say
words.
that.
And like no disrespect to Memphis, like he is not a bad like soccer player, but like we're talking about the golden generation doesn't have Memphis Depay. Like,
No.
bro.
But
I
like
mean,
Memphis,
we don't, but like that's embarrassing. That's like both can be true, right? Like we don't have Memphis Depay, but that's also not something we want to say out loud.
fair.
Mm. Yeah, it's not something you want to say out loud, but it's true.
I mean, bro, that's like saying you don't have Phil Foden, bro. I'm sorry, like,
Yeah,
I can't.
That's like playing Team USA and going, we have nothing like Carlos Boozer.
Yeah, or you went to Tokyo and said, man, we don't have Keldon Johnson. Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta have the Keldon.
Leave us something out here, Charles and Deion. You go first, Charles. Lasting notes.
I'm going to be on a plane tomorrow during the game, so I'm going to miss it. I'm going to try to rewatch it so I can give y'all a little bit of analysis. But I mean, it's crazy, man. They didn't believe in Messi. God did, man. I'm really starting to think that. And I will say, if they lift this trophy on Sunday, I will shed grown man tears. I will. I'm just gonna keep it a bean. He's still my captain. Man, just a little boy from Rosario, man. And I just want good things for my guy. I feel like he deserves them. I'm not really one for the sport. Is not a sport for the sport is not for the deserving. It's for the the just winners. But I mean, he's at this point. If they'd have lost in like, I don't know. I just like at this point, he's too close. Just go ahead and win it now. And with the way he's playing, I don't want the same way that the team almost let him down the other day. I don't feel like he did his job. And I just hope that the team doesn't let him down, because I do have nightmares about Otamendi trying to chase fucking Mbappe down.
Mm-hmm.
But the Butcher. The Butcher and Ramiro are two of the hardest tackling players in the world, and I feel like they might chop down somebody's ass. Like, I'm worried about Dembele not making it home if they play Argentina, because they're snuffing his ass.
Romero's an LA Tottenham player that's been phenomenal at the World Cup.
Also, I love that Martinez's nickname is the Butcher, and I will never tell Braylon that, but the Butcher's fucking fire for a nickname.
That Argentina team's not very good. Shout out to Messi. Shout out to Messi. That team's not very good, man. Like,
but it's still wild that they won Copa. I really don't get it.
But the level of belief that they have, I said it before the tournament started, those boys believe, like, I think they, like, really believe that, like, God, Maradona, and everything else is behind them. And it's hard to see. Like, I never thought they were going to lose in extra time, and I never thought they were going to lose in penalties because I just don't think I don't think they get the game that far. I don't think you can out-heart them.
I mean, when you got, LVG, Louis Van Gaal, putting into the defender to take the first pin, so just ridiculous.
Well, at least Messi took one. What the fuck was that stunt Neymar pulled?
Who picked the order? I mean, we could debate the order of penalty kicks all the time. The only reason I say that too is just because Sane won the African Cup, and I was like kicking fifth. Like it came in handy then.
I understand kicking fifth, but the moment you go down one, I think you have to. Like if they were up one, I don't think he needs to go. But going into that fourth, I think you have to.
I also would say I trust Marquinhos,
but you got to you got to put the card in though. Before,
I'm not mad at Marquinhos kick. I trust Marquinhos. I trust Thiago Silva. When I watch PSG play, Marquinhos has always been the adult in the room. Like I've always I'm just saying I don't feel bad that I have no problem putting the game in Marquinhos' hands. That's all.
That game was lost in early on when they didn't get goals early. When you let Croatia squad like that, I don't care when they scored in extra time, it still don't matter. You got to put them dudes away. And also, you still didn't defeat, going back to Brazil, you have not defeated the stigma around you that you can't beat connected European teams. That's one of their issues. I mean, Brazil ain't won nothing really since R9. Olympics don't count. I'm sorry. Not when you have that, when your younger players are your national team. And that's what Neymar and them were. Was it 2018 Olympics? Or what am I, 2016?
I mean, why don't we just say what it is, though? There's a lot of Real Madrid players out there dropping the ball.
Is he, though? When Vinny gets taken off the 60th minute and we put Rodrigo in?
And that's a Madrid for Madrid switch, is it not?
All right, well, one team got to the quarters, though. Where was Ansu Fati? We going to talk about the Spanish team? But it was the Madrid's fault that Spanish didn't have enough to get past R16. But now
Brazil ran out six Real Madrid. I personally think that's part of the reason why they lost.
Don't count Casemiro though, because he's a United player now.
I do count Cas, but I'm just saying hear me out. You ran a bunch of Real Madrid players out against the Real Madrid captain, and you are surprised that he bossed them. I'm not surprised that he bossed those players.
Oh, he took him serious.
He's a literal fucking boss.
Literally. Yeah, he's 37 years old and he runs the squad. Right. I mean, by the way, they win. If they beat Messi, it don't matter what the finals are. Modric is, and if Madrid gets a trophy, which, I mean, is debatable right now. Madrid gets a trophy, I think he's getting another Ballon d'Or.
He's not beating Messi for that. No, maybe.
I mean, if they win it all. If they win the World Cup, maybe.
If they win the World Cup, he's I mean, that's a lock at that point.
Put Perisic in the FIFA 11 at that point.
Listen, man, if
sure.
But Perisic makes the FIFA 11. This boy right here better not say a fucking word.
Listen, I'm club over country. Club over country.
That's a good way to end it. Appreciate everybody listening to Kicking It With the Brothers. We will see y'all on the other side of the World Cup final. Enjoy all the football. Enjoy the soccer. You ain't got to worry about these teams playing hard. Take care.